Hey A&Pers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is A&P1 Lecture Test 3 video 11. And we're on page 12. And I want to introduce our guest here. This is Pepper the Pupper. I don't know what the kids are up to, but she was like right outside my door, so she's gonna hang out with us. Yeah. Okay, puppy. Can I hold you up here or you want to sit down on my lap? All right. Okay, so we are moving on to chapter 9. And chapter 9 is about joints. So here we go. Expect pictures matching true false on the test, and we are not having short answers. So also, I do recommend you eat, sleep, and exercise because your brain will work better if you eat, sleep, and exercise. True story. Okay, is this the same quiz? I'll let you pause that and deal with those. All right, chapter 9. That's some kind of outfit. All right. Okay, I'm going to keep talking because I'm going to assume that you can pause this and write this down. So let's get, we're going with the red pen. Oh, the blue line looked nice. Okay, so this is, first, articulations are joints in the body. And ROM stands for range of motion, and then we're in functional category 1 here. And the first category, okay, you want to lay down? Sit? Good girl. Okay, is the synarthrosis. The synarthrosis shows no movement. And this is the functional category. How does it work? How does it work? It doesn't move. And in the synarthrotic category, so synarthrosis is the noun, synarthrotic is the adjective. So category here would be noun. Synarthrotic category describes what category? Synarthrotic category. Oh, there we go. Good girl. There are 3 different structural categories. Fibrous, which means it's held together by fibrous connective tissue. Cartilaginous, which means it's cartilage. And then bony fusion. So first we have our sutures. You've learned a number of the sutures. You learned the coronal, sagittal, lambdoidal. What was that one? Squamous part, squamous suture. And then that one right there between the 2 nasal bones and the frontal bone. Frontonasal. Excellent. So this is fibrous connective tissue, and the B/W here means between. So that's between the skull bones, and you've learned those already. Okay, so there's also the gomphosis. This is the good criminy, there's an O there, periodontal ligament, which holds your teeth in your jaws. So it's between the teeth and the jaws. The dentists don't use that term. So, okay, and so for cartilaginous, we have just like here we had synarthrosis, here we have synchondrosis. And what does chondro mean? Cartilage. So synarthrosis, no movement. Synchondrosis, a cartilaginous joint with no movement. So this is where you have hyaline cartilage between the bones, like the epiphyseal plates, and also the costal cartilages are synchondrotic. They show no movement between the rib. And bony fusion is synostosis. This is where bones are fused together. So the epiphyseal lines, once the epiphyseal plates close, then it leaves epiphyseal lines, and those are syn. So here we've got syn again, and then osteo, almost osteo, there's no E. But synostosis is bony fusion, and cartilaginous is cartilage fusion. So, also portions of the skull when you were born, or well, when you first developed them, you had 2 frontal bones, but they joined together down the middle for 1 frontal bone. And also your coxal bone, the ilium, ischium, and pubis are all joined together with synostotic joints. Okay. And here's the picture of all of that from the book. So you can see how those look. And then our number 2 here is amphiarthrosis. Amphiarthrotic joints show a little movement, but not much. For this, I think of amphibians because they're partly on land and partly in water, and they're kind of in between. So a synostotic joint shows no movement, a diarthrotic joint shows full movement, and an amphiarthrotic joint is a little. It's kind of stuck in between. So there are two structural categories here, fibrous and cartilaginous. The fibrous one is syn, and this is still syn because it's not a full movement. This one's a syndesmosis, and this is where there's a fibrous band between the bones. So you find that between the tibia and fibula, also between the radius and ulna. So they're connected, but they still move independently of each other. And then cartilaginous here is the symphysis, and so the SYM is related to the SYN, and the symphysis is the fibrocartilaginous joints. And they're the symphysis pubis, which is the pubic symphysis in English, symphysis pubis in Latin. And also the intervertebral discs are just fibrocartilage holding the bones together, which makes them a symphysis joint. And here's the picture from the book. You've got your syndesmosis and then your symphysis pubis. And that leaves the diarthrotic joints. A diarthrosis has free movement. And there's only one structural category here, and it's the synovial joints. And there are types, we will discuss that, but those get broken down further. And they have a wide range of motion, and these are, all of the joints of your limbs are diarthrotic joints. So, and here's a couple classifications, but we'll get more into it. So a synovial joint has a synovial cavity, synovial membrane with synovial fluid. It's a whole thing. We'll get there. That's what we're doing. All right, and then here are all of them together. List the three functional physiological classifications of joints. So we've got synarthrosis, amphiarthrosis, and diarthrosis. List the four structural anatomical classifications of joints. We've got fibrous, cartilaginous, bony, and so we already did fibrous, we already did cartilaginous. Synovial is the fourth one. And then all synovial joints are diarthrotic, and all diarthrotic joints are synovial joints. Okay. And there's a better picture of the synovial joint, which we will talk about for the top of page 13. So in the meantime, thank you as always for tuning in. This has been ANP1 Lecture Test 3, Video 11 on page 12. And we started Chapter 9, Articulation. So we did kind of joint classifications. ASSIFICATIONS. And now I need another Post-it note because I'm out of space. So, thank you as always for tuning in. The education must go on. For me and Pepper the Pupper, Dr. J. out.